So the next piece of the equation is building out the website, is building the authority for the website. And we talked earlier about setting up the website, making sure we get pages for each one of our services, pages for each one of the cities. And I mentioned, that's the start. It doesn't mean we're ranking on page 1 for those, but it does mean we should start to show up in search. So for each one of these pages that we're adding, the emergency page and the drain cleaning page and the hydrojetting page, and even the home page, what's going to bridge the gap between being on page 1 and being on page 3 or 4? And the answer is authority. And Google will serve and consider you authoritative based on the number of links, citations, and reviews back to your website. And the Google algorithm is constantly changing. What Google decides is important on a website in terms of links is changing. I mean, the latest algorithm, Google's really trying to combat spammy links. So the caveat to this is you need to have more links, but they have to be authoritative links. They can't just be garbage links. They need to be links from relevant sources that are relevant not just to your area, but your services as well. And so you want to have a strategy to build links that are completely above board. And so Austin Chase, his question is, how do you combat Google's algorithm changes that affect rankings? My answer to that is try and set up your website and your online marketing strategy, not just for the search engines, but more for the consumer. So you're creating pages on your website for each one of your services. That improves your probability of showing up in search, but it also adds value for the consumer, right? The customer that's looking for drain cleaning services and typed in your city plus drain cleaning appreciates the fact that you've got a page that talks about drain cleaning and answers the most commonly asked drain cleaning related questions. You've added value and you're above board. When you start to go down the path of trying to game the system, getting false links, buying links from unauthoritative places, creating spam content or just duplicate content on your website, you're trying to beat the system, and that's how you wind up getting caught in Google's algorithmic changes. As long as you're creating good, fresh content that helps Google provide great value to its search results, you're going to be fine. So how do you get these links, and how do you make sure these links are clean, relevant links? And Austin says, great answer. Thank you. Thank you for the question, and thank you for your feedback. So there's a lot of places that you can get links. And again, I want to give you a visual that paints a picture that will help you see there really are a lot of places that you can tangibly go out and get relevant links to your website. And so we talked about in order to get ranked on the Google map, we want to be on all the major online directory listings on sites like City Search and Angie's List and Best of the Web and Hot Frog. Well, every one of those directories has a place where you can put in your company's name, address, phone number, and a link to your website. So being in those online directories gives you links to your website, and that's a great place to start. The next place is start looking at the online association websites that you're involved with. So if you're a PHCC member, if you're a QSC member, in a lot of cases, these online, the websites for these associations will have our member section, and you can get links from those our member sections back to your website. Another strategy that we found to work pretty well is to get links from people in your area that are non-competitive to you. So if you're the plumbing company and you've got a buddy that runs an HVAC business, he's got a website, you can have him link to your website, and of course you link to his website. Now don't confuse this for a link exchange. Link exchange where you're giving a link just for the sake of getting a link is a bad practice. Google frowns upon it. It's a bad idea. Now in this case, you're talking about somebody in your geographic area that offers a complimentary service. And so all you're saying is, I'm a plumbing company, and here are some of the value add providers that I work with. So if you need an HVAC company, if you need an electrician, here are some of the companies that I recommend. That's not spammy. It's totally above board. And so doing that with some of the strong players in your area will add value to both of your organizations and give you both more authority to rank better in search. There are the services that you buy from. You can get links from there. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. I'm going to talk about how to leverage social media to connect with your customers and the power of that. But when you set up a Facebook profile, when you set up a Pinterest profile, when you set up a Twitter account, a YouTube channel, they all give you the ability to have a profile where you talk about your company and you have a link back to your website. That drives authoritative links. If you're involved in the local chamber of commerce, Business Networking International, any other networking group, they usually have member sites where you can list your company and have a link back to your website. So I really hope that this visual paints a picture of some of the low-hanging fruit, the links that you can get that will drive more authority to your website and will improve that probability of ranking on page 1 versus page 2 or page 3. The other critical element of link building and building authority is having great content. And so having a blog section on your website where you're putting out updates on a consistent basis is a very powerful way to draw inbound links to your website. And so whether you realize it or not, you're a subject matter expert. You have information in your head that isn't commonplace, that the average consumer doesn't have access to. And so just think about what some of your most commonly asked questions are. Think about some things that you explain on a pretty consistent basis. The difference between a tanked and tankless water heater. Why you might want to consider trenchless sewer replacement. And you can take that information that you know, that you own, that you can talk about intelligently for hours and convert it to content. Whether it's a video, whether it's an article, whether it's an audio recording, you can take that content and you can put it on YouTube, you can put it on article directory sites, you can put it on your blog, and by creating that good content, every time you post it, you can have a link back to your website. And not just your homepage, but maybe to one of these sub-pages, right? So if you talked about trenchless sewer replacement, you would drive a link back to the trenchless sewer replacement page on your website. Does that make sense? This is probably more powerful than anything else you can do, is creating good, consistent content and putting it out online and getting authentic, fresh links back to your website that will build your authority and help you rank better in search. And so another strategy for getting inbound links is to do competitive link acquisition. And this I like to call kind of a ninja strategy because, getting yourself on the online directories, putting out good content, that's all great, but this is really ninja, right? This is some of the things you can do to take it to a whole nother level. And so I talked about if you've got your website set up right and you've got good content and you've got your title tags, that puts you in the index, but your authority is going to determine whether you rank on page 1 or page 5. If somebody's outranking you, just based on that definition, they're outranking you because they have more authority in terms of link citations and reviews. Well, there are tools that you can use to look at your top competition and see who's ranking in the number 1 position in your area and see exactly what links they have. And if they've got 210 links and you've only got 22 links, then there's a gap. But the good news is you can see what the gap is and you can see what links they have, which Google obviously has determined as relevant, authoritative links. So with tools like Majestic SEO or Raven Tools, you can run a report on your top competitor that ranks for the keywords you want to rank for. You can see where their rank and where their links are coming from, and then go out and get those websites to link back to you. And so this is a great way to really take your links, your link building strategy to the next level, build your authority, and start to outrank your competition. Does that make sense on the building authority part? Create good content, be strategic with how you get links, and you will start to rank much better in search. Well, I hope you got a lot of value out of that training video. If you'd like to get even more details on how you really should be marketing your plumbing or HVAC business online, I'd encourage you to go to plumberseo.net/free. There you'll find a video training, completely free of charge, runs about an hour and 20 minutes, that goes into depth as far as what your overall internet marketing strategy should be if you want to maximize the potential of the internet, search engines, Google Maps, social media, pay-per-lead services, pay-per-click advertising within your plumbing or HVAC business. So just go to plumberseo.net/free. You'll be able to access that video training as well as an implementation guide that spells out how to do this stuff on your own. So again, that's plumberseo.net/free. I look forward to talking with you again soon.